This is one of those delicate things, so I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't think I've ever been known to hold anything back, yeah? First of all, I would like each and every one of you in the sound of my voice to be praying for, it's an unknown number of people. We know about 227 dead across 6 states in the wake of Hurricane Helene, but there is no clarity because people are missing. And part of this, what I'm going to say, it may be the only time that I say something very political, but I want you to listen up because at some point we have to put aside our political affiliations and figure out, why do we say we are proud to be Americans while we watch our brothers and sisters with very little, if any, help at all? And I'll come back to that. So in the wake of all this, we know that FEMA's been dispatched. And unfortunately, the people across those 6 states and the one that was hit the hardest are not receiving the aid that they need. And there's a big reason for that, because all the money and the resources that were designed to be used for these types of crises for our American citizens have gone to every other country, every other cause, leaving Americans as last to be taken care of. Now, I'm all for helping countries that need aid because we may have agreements, we may have allied issues that we agreed to in talks and so forth, but money is leaving this country at such a rapid rate, no one is checking, and we are, in case nobody figured this out, we are broke as a country. We are in debt massively. So a crisis hits, and our own citizens, well, they're told, here, you'll get $750 from the government. Most of you know the stories of immigrants coming here receiving $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 on credit cards and gifts and whatever it is, while Americans, citizens who pay taxes in this country, are struggling. And even when FEMA has showed up, there's been very little aid, and the aid workers that have been independent to come and bring blankets and all of the basic needs, FEMA's basically wanting to confiscate what they have brought in terms of aid supplies. And when it was asked, not by one, but by at least a half a dozen of these individual private people, they said, why would you confiscate it and where is it going? And at least 1 or 2 of the FEMA folks were honest to say it's going to go to the immigrants. Now, I am presenting this. I may not have the facts exactly spot on, but I am damn close, okay? And when you're looking at, this is what every American, I don't care if you're red or you're blue, you're yellow, you're orange, you're green, wake up! You are being robbed, not only of the American spirit, but God forbid, we live in California. God forbid we should have a massive earthquake, some massive catastrophe. You will be on your own because there's no one coming to help you. Do you understand that? Yes. That should be a motivator to put aside whatever political affiliations you might have held and think about this country and start thinking about there are people who, without a crisis, are struggling to put food on their table. So I'm really just saying to you, in my mind, I think about the billions, 61 billion, 64 billion sent to Ukraine, 175 billion, somewhere in that sweet spot, I think, 157 million to Lebanon. When will America come first? When will the American people be taken care of? I said to you, I have to get this out because there are people asleep in this country who do not realize it, but no one is coming for you. No one is going to bail you out. We'll be lucky if we get to the age of retirement and your Social Security is actually there because people have just been robbing us blind, and they are our politicians. Time to think and wake up. And if it's not for anyone right here in this building, Please, and I implore you, you may have been the victim of listening to misinformation or bad information about our political choices. I really urge you to do your homework, because the future of this country, and I never could imagine this, but the future of this country really depends on everybody thinking long and hard about what is best for this country. Will we be a Constitution honoring, respecting country? Or will we continue in the lawlessness, disorderly fashion that everything is being done in blatant disregard for the upstanding citizen who is just begging for someone to come along and help this country reclaim a little bit? Well, if somebody doesn't do it, I hate to tell you, but we will all be in that position. There will be no bailout for anybody. And the next time we do have a crisis, I want you to think long and hard about the people who took the PPE during COVID, the money handed out by the government, large corporations and entities that did not need it. They had plenty of cash in their bank accounts. We are a greedy country, and it's being put on display first and foremost by our politicians. So I'm urging you, I'm imploring you to please pray and think and do wisely, because the future of every American rests on your decision when you go to vote, whether you know it or not. They used to say, and if you go back and you read a lot of the old-timey writings, old-timey preachers, we're talking about now before the turn of the century, the likes of Spurgeon and others, and you find that there was always a plea, I'm not standing here telling you, I think you should go this way. I'm telling you to think about the bigger picture, which was not uncommon, by the way, when preaching actually was attached to honors or honor values and morals. So I don't know where some people are at in this country, but I'm telling you, my heart bleeds for those people. I ask you to join me in prayer for those who have lost loved ones and have identified indeed that they are deceased, those that are searching for their loved ones. And when I say, if you've seen any of the pictures, we're talking about nothing is left of a town. It's completely gone. Like there's just dirt left. God help us, and God help those people. But I'm asking you to join with me in prayer and pray that at least for those who are in that uncertainty of where their loved ones are, where people are at, that somebody have the sense to come along and try and make some better strategies and organize and help, and that these people finally get the relief they desperately need. I pray that in Jesus' name. Okay, we are going to take a quick music break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the Word. And as I said to you, it may be the only time I've ever made such an appeal to you, and if it's not falling on deaf ears with you, I urge you to talk to every person you know, because this country's future is riding on this election. I know probably people think every election said that. No. This one, if you look back at our history, this one is the breaking point. We will either carry on as a great nation, or we will continue spiraling in the pattern that we have been, and there is no one to come bail us out. The once great superpower of the world is being reduced down to an empty old sack that has nothing left to give anymore because it's been sucked dry. Have I said it enough?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Come into this house, magnify the Lord, lift up holy hands, our hearts in one accord, worship